Aaron Rickenberg, co-owner of Cons of Strength.
Kenny Phillips, co-owner of Cons of Strength.
Between the two of us, we are the head trainer and business manager and everything else manager and social media manager and all other hats that go into play. What are we doing today, Kenny?
We are here today to conduct our bike interviews.
Let's do it.
There we go.
Shoot, a little slippage?
A little bit. Mine didn't quite start on time.
Yeah. Not quite. So, how did we start Cons of Strength? What happened, and how did the initial you and I's relationship and first doors, like how did that all happen?
Well, knowing what I know now, you were trying to start a gym and I was starting to try a gym. I focused on getting as much equipment to fill the space as I could. I focused on getting more members. And so you had reached out to one of the guys that I was training in my garage at the time. Like, hey, come work out with me, do this. And he was a good friend. And so he was like, no, I have a trainer, I'll work out with this guy. And you being the guy that you are, was like, yeah, just bring him along, it'll be good. So we all met at the gym where you were working at the time and grabbed a Saturday workout together. And as the workout progressed and everything, the client of mine asked me like how was one of the spaces I was looking at coming. And I was like, oh, it looks really promising. Something fell through, so it looks like we might get it. And you had also looked at that space and knew that it was at that time spoken for. And like, how? You was like, I thought that space was taken. I was like, no, it fell through. And like light bulbs went off. Like the only way you'll know this is if you're looking for space, probably for a gym. So he invited me out to breakfast later that day to interview me to see if I was going to be a viable source to try to partner with. And going back and forth, figured out that both of us had the other half that the other person didn't have to start a facility.
So what you're saying is, it started with a workout and an interview.
Yep, where it all starts.
12 more calories?
Okay. There we go. And
so, started with a workout and an interview, and then we built a picture for each other. We had a pretty decent understanding of what the other person expected out of a gym and what standards they wanted to meet. How has that picture changed since we first said, hey, this is what a gym should be?
Don't know if the picture has changed so far. The picture has gotten a lot bigger. Our scope of influence or being able to help people was around helping people was our mission kind of in the beginning. And so that scope or reach that we have to help people has just kind of gotten a lot bigger. And so I don't know if the picture has changed, but the picture's gotten a lot bigger. We've zoomed out a little bit. We can see a lot more now.
So primarily just a bigger view of what we were doing, or scaling up, so to say.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Well, 12 more calories. So, the picture is expanding I keep thinking about a puzzle, you know? Like, you work on a piece of it for a while, and you feel like you've made progress, and then you step up to go get a drink or stretch your back out, and you're like, wow, there's still a lot of border left to do. There's still a lot of this left to do. An obstacle when doing puzzles sometimes, that table size, or maybe there's a cat that ate a piece or something. But for the most part, there are barriers to making things work, or obstacles that have to be addressed. Do you see barriers or obstacles in the road for scaling that picture?
Yep, I would definitely say with that puzzle analogy, we have a bigger puzzle now than when we started with 2.5 years ago. And the table we were building the puzzle on is no longer big enough to fill or to build out that picture the way we want it. And we're all about trying to eliminate or overcome obstacles or barriers that people have, primarily with health and fitness, but it goes into a lot of other places as well. But that's usually where most people start at. And with not having a big enough table to finish out the picture that we want, we're not able to facilitate or help people the way we want, effectively becoming a barrier to them, something that we kind of set out to take away, not add to their lives or their health, fitness routine.
I get that. The last thing we want to do is become a barrier between someone's health and fitness. Definitely don't want to be, we don't want to be giving them reasons to not show up and work on themselves, because that's the whole reason Concept Strength exists, for people to show up and work on themselves. So
exactly, we do not want to give people the easy out. Would rather make them take the hard right path versus the easy wrong path of classes are getting really big, I don't feel like I have enough space to do my thing and not get in other people's way, so I just won't go to the gym today. And not what we set out to do. We set out to change the way people viewed their health and fitness, and not having the space to facilitate that, we're not able to impact the change that we set out to do.
Not having the space. Not having the space. Do we got the legs for the calories?
Aren't you happy you changed it from 12 instead of 10? Like,
oh, I'm so happy. Well, originally it was 15, so I'm happy we're not there. All right. It's always there. I feel like I never worked so hard to stay in one spot. So, space and growing, and space and growing. has been a consistent theme here. In the last couple questions, space has been said multiple times, and growing has been said multiple times. The mission of the gym is to influence community with fitness and nutrition via coaching, by coaching. So, how do we do that? How do we make the expansion? How do we scale up? How do we change the table with, Salt Bike got me, without changing the mission of the business? Because it seems like it'd be real easy to get lost in, oh, we have to build this space so that the community's there. In all actuality, we still want to build the community. Space really only matters as much as it does for the community. So, I guess I need to phrase that in a question. What are currently the needs of the community as far as space goes and growth goes?
So the community need as a whole needs a larger space to kind of create as a rally point for themselves or for ourselves, to where they can meet the goals that they had set for themselves and help us meet the goals that we laid out for the business in the beginning, which was to help people through fitness and nutrition with coaching. We have people that, so back to that other not being people's excuse, maybe this class is real big for them and this is the best time that fits in my time frame, but I feel like I get lost in that big class. Or I don't feel like I have enough space in that big class to kind of work out with everybody else. And upscaling the table gives us more room so we can incorporate more people and incorporate more coaches to allow us to expand that vision exponentially.
So, it sounds like you basically just, I've heard you say this before multiple times when talking about the gym, like we meet people where they're at. You're saying almost essentially, we've gotten to a point where it's hard for us to meet people where they're at. So we're trying to find new opportunities to continue to meet people where they're at, whether they're comfortable in big classes, no classes, there's a specific coach they like to work with, or types of environments that they want to be in. We want to create that environment more and more and more.
Want to give the space for everyone to have the opportunity to get the growth that they're looking for. Whether it was the growth they were looking for in the beginning when they first came through our front doors, or that's kind of morphed into a new goal since they've been here for longer and see what kind of untapped potential they actually have inside of them. Instead of, not quite sure, not enough space for me to do my thing, I get a little bit lost, or just wasn't quite right for me right now, just from a space, barrier, real close quarters kind of feel.
I'm sure there's more of that I would like to unpackage, and I'll probably remember this when I get off this bike. Right now there's too much blood flowing to my legs, not enough to my brain apparently. So,
but to our point as well, with a bigger table, we don't want to let those pieces of the puzzle that we already have get lost. So we're trying to size the table appropriately so it's just big enough to incorporate the picture that we have, maybe make the picture a little bit bigger, but not so much that we lose track of all the pieces that are already there.
yeah.
Want to space a size up versus taking, if I was given hand-me-downs, I would want the siblings' clothes that are 1 year older than me that I can kind of grow into, versus the sibling that's already grown that's going to take me 8 years to grow into, to where I kind of lose some of those pieces or not quite fill it out, kind of have an empty shirt kind of feeling with a space.
I like that. That makes sense. And you don't want your foot rattling around in something when you're trying to do a 400-meter run or Murph. So I get that. And I think it's extremely important that everybody knows that we're not just trying to take 4 different puzzles and dump them together. Like, it's still the same picture, but we've been able to slowly add pieces to it that are extremely complementary, and that's primarily done by you guys. Like, you guys are the ones that bring the people that you want to work out with more than anybody else. So being able to build in the direction you guys want to go is what's extremely important for us. Ready to do this?
No, we're gonna do it anyway.
That black folder right there? I think you might have got into this already a little bit, but yeah, that was a good one. How do you see the fulfillment of needs, and what's the vision? Like, when we got into Cons of Strength, we kind of knew what we wanted to do. We knew the class schedules. We knew how we wanted to serve the population and try to meet them where they were at. So, like, what's the vision now? With new space comes new opportunity. What are those opportunities to enrich the lives of our members and to provide a better quality product and service than we are already providing?
So, Cons Strength, we keep calling ourselves Cons of Herd. Bison have that herd mentality of to where we're together, we're a community. A new space would give that community or that herd more room to roam and add in maybe a few outliers that are here and there in this new room that we have to roam. Likewise, we can, with more room to grow or more room to roam, we can kind of separate out the herd a little bit, still staying close, but allowing people to move to something that they've recently found that they really have passion for. We do group fitness classes that are functional fitness, geared towards empowering your health, fitness, performance to do whatever your original why was whenever you came in here. And so we met you where you were at to help you build you up to do well at your why, whether that was running marathons, competing in some type of sport, field court sport, on a platform, lifting heavy stuff, other functional fitness, or just trying to retain their independence, keeping a good foundation of strength throughout their life so they don't have to get put in early retirement, in a home, anything else like that. Throughout that broad physical presence, physical experience that we give people, sometimes people find things that they really liked. And maybe I didn't enjoy these other 4 pieces that we were having, but I really enjoyed this one piece. And having room to, a little bit more room to roam, we can kind of separate out those pieces while still keeping us all in the same area. If you enjoyed powerlifting more than you enjoyed group functional fitness, we, with larger space, have the opportunity to let you double down on that powerlifting, but still have the opportunity to come back to that functional fitness. Same with weightlifting, same with field court performance, general strength and conditioning. Gives us an opportunity to do more coaching, bring in more specialty coaches to help empower people's performance in the small areas that they really enjoy, and helping them get to that big goal or their why they came in here in the beginning. So more people gives us more space, gives us more opportunities to coach more people.
equals more to a point. As long as we have the right understanding of how things are going to go through, because it's pretty general what you just said, like, but what if we were to get specific? Like, say I take the functional fitness classes and I have a background in CrossFit. Everybody knows that, all right? CrossFit level 1, CrossFit level 2. But I really enjoy snatching and clean and jerking. And that really isn't ever hit in the functional fitness classes. So like you said, weightlifting. What does that do for me as somebody who likes weightlifting and feel like that is just that itch that I can't scratch in the functional fitness classes? What does that do for me?
So the more space and giving us more opportunity for different types of specialty classes gives our group people that kind of have that enjoyment out of it, gives us the opportunity to set aside time and congruently program a weightlifting program that works in junction with our group fitness class to give that CrossFit or functional fitness athlete a taste of everything so that they can keep their game as well-rounded as they want. Been trying to find a way for us to add in a weightlifting class because weightlifting involves snatch and clean and jerk, which are both very highly technical lifts and take a lot of one-on-one or very small group settings to teach it effectively and minimizing the risk of injury or the risk of setbacks, plateaus, or bad technique than trying to teach it to shotgun blast the same thing to 30 people at one time. You might be able, a good coach might be able to impact the front of the class, but the middle and the back of the class will still kind of get not quite all the right information. So if we have it to where we can build a very small group class on the outside of our functional fitness classes to where you can supplementally take that class, get the snatch, get the clean and jerk, and then transition into our functional fitness for your main strength lifts and your cardio or skill components for gymnastics or other movements that we have programming. Gives you that all-around feel that you might be looking for if you don't just want to double down on weightlifting. The programs can work together. You don't have to choose one or the other.
So you're saying that I could stack a weightlifting program on top of the functional fitness program and get, like, satisfy that itch that I want to scratch?
As long as the people that are programming it are all on the same level and know where all of them are going, to minimize all that overuse stuff that could happen with just trying to add something on top of everything on your own.
That answers my question. One more?
One more.
That's good. So, why the interview? Why not just sign a lease, give everybody a date, and say, this is a new location, we've signed a lease, we're moving this day. Why would we do an interview first before we've signed the lease to get everybody's input on the possibility of the current place that we're in that we haven't even talked about? We haven't even talked about where we're at. Why would we do it this way?
So it's how the business originally started. Me and you sitting down, working out, and having an interview, and back and forth is first reason. Second reason, because this is a community, is a herd, is a pack. The strength of a wolf is not fangs, speed, clause, it's in the pack. And so to move successfully forward, keeping what we've already built and building out into that new place, the pack, the herd has to stay together and all move together. And so if we don't have a conversation, an interview back and forth, we can start to have split off, have this, have that, to where we lose that part that we're trying to add on to, not just lose all of it and have to start all over again.
So, not to lose any of the pieces that make a complete picture, not to allow any of those pieces to slide off the edges or fall through a space or crack in between a leaf of the table as it's being expanded, while simultaneously allowing for those pieces to find new complements and the possibility of growth and people to compete with and or drive that competition. Well, closing things that you want to say specifically about the location we're in or anything we want to know from people?
Would really like the community to reach out to us, email, DM, calls, messages of specific questions that you guys might have about our growth or our home or rally point in the future as it pertains to space or coaching, class opportunities, or anything else that you think would go well with the gym or what we're planning to do.
The mission is to increase the quality of life for the community, to grow the community through fitness and nutrition by coaching. So, I mean, we're not out here to do anything other than positively influence and create space for you to do it. The bottom line is that these are just 4 walls, and what we want to do is help people reach and do things that we never thought that they would be able to do, or they never thought that they would be able to do. And Kenny and I are stronger when you are stronger, and we become better coaches when you become better athletes. And we want to be the best coaches we can, so why would we not push you to become the best athletes you can?
That's all I got.
That's all you got? That's all we got.